This is the Skyaaz podcast.
This is the Grandmaster Mele Mel. You're listening to 103.7 Skyaaz on KFM, baby. Rah!
Mele Mel, Scorpio live. Amazing!
Mele Mel, Scorpio. Happy days. Love it.
Live hip hop, Mele Mel, we love it!
Mele Mel, Scorpio. Amazing.
Everybody make some noise!
So you're listening to Skyaaz. I've just seen Mele Mel and Scorpio live. Mel, how are you enjoying your time at the UK?
It's great. We out with the Sugar Hill Gang, our label mates from Sugar Hill Record Days, and the crowds have been good. We are building up a nice, good little reputation on the festival circuit, and it's just it's better than it's ever been. It's back to the glory days.
Talk about the early hip hop scene. What it meant to you.
Well, the early hip hop scene was us actually making a way through life. I mean, in the Bronx where we came from, wasn't a lot going on, and we used hip hop. I started out as a b-boy, so we used hip hop and break dancing and MCing as that was our normal. Because other than that, if it wasn't for hip hop, I wouldn't have had much of a life. You know what I mean? I was dumb enough to leave school early, and the only thing that saved me was the fact that I started taking my hip hop career serious. So hip hop was what we used for life to be normal, because other than that, living in the Bronx around in the late 70s and the early 80s, there was nothing normal about that. The only normal thing about that was our music. So it saved us.
In '82, you released The Message, a totally groundbreaking record in every sense. The first hip hop record with a social commentary. Written by you and Duke Beauty, I believe?
Well, the main body of the record was written by Duke Booty, and I put on the last, the last verse, which was actually taken from Super Rapping.
Okay. And what were your thoughts? Did you think it was going to become one of the most important hip-hop records ever?
The only person that knew that was going to be a good record was Miss Sylvia Robinson. She had the record. Duke Booty wrote the main parts of the record was already written, and she wanted somebody from the label to do it. Sugar Hill Gang didn't want to do it. We didn't want to do it. We didn't think nothing about it. We just thought it was, that it was too serious. Because we was all doing party music at the time, and she was the only one that believed in the record. And to her credit, it became to this day still the most important hip-hop record and one of the most important records, period, ever. I mean, they did I think a couple of years ago in Rolling Stone's top 500 records ever, and The Message was like number 52. It was in between a Prince record and I think a Stevie Wonder record. Great record.
And it was number one hip-hop as well.
Yeah, it's always, No, that and Rapper's Delight is always number one and number two.
I think one of the most important electro records, and it still sounds fresh today, is Scorpio. It's one of the first electro tracks. I mean, when you put that together, did you know that was going to become a seminal track?
Not really. See, what we was trying to do was, trying to do something that fit the times. At that time, Planet Rock was, an enormous record. And when we did The Message, we just wanted to, put a record together so that we could still stay in that vein also, and do our party thing. We do The Message, and then and do Scorpio, and it worked out really well for us. It worked really good live. It was a really like we would end the show on Scorpio and have our whole little routine. Yeah, great. It was good, really good.
The later tracks in the 80s, tracks like Step Off, King of the Streets, Pump Me Up. I mean, do you have any particular favourites that you really like playing?
I liked Step Off, actually.
Yeah, I do. Jazzy Jeff does a great routine with that.
Yeah. It was a great record simply because when we put it out, it wasn't really big in the States. but for some reason, because we had a lot of success in the UK, and we put that out behind White Lines, and that record was the #1 record in the UK. We actually did the Top of the Pops, not for White Lines. We did it for Step Off.
Did you?
Yeah, it was #1. I don't think White Lines didn't go #1. It was in the top.
Definitely top 10.
Yeah, it was in the for a long time.
Yeah.
But White Lines was actually it went Step Off actually went #1.
Yeah.
Exclusively on YouTube. This is the Skyaaz podcast.
I thought he was making the 10 Commandments the way he was talking. and that's how I wrote Beat Street Breakdown based on.
Are you still proud of it now?
Yeah,
The film? It's quite kitschy.
Truthfully, I didn't really like Beat Street like that.
No.
I mean, it was a good movie. I thought it was going to be the 10 Commandments. The way he was talking, if he could have made that movie anything like the speech that he gave, it would have won an Oscar.
I'm having fun here with Mele Mel. Some beer been drunk, and anyway. So new CD out, or new single, Some Kind of Sorry. Tell me about it.
Well, me and Scorpio, we wanted to do an album, so we put the whole album together. We had the album
That's
finished.
all done, is it?
Yeah, it's all done. And we just wanted to pick, the best single. And even though we have a lot of good singles, but we liked Some Kind of Sorry because Some Kind of Sorry is a different record. We didn't want to do a hip-hop record.
I love the
just
guitars
wanted to do, a record that had hip-hop in it and just showed a different skill set. And we believe in the record, and we, got a good team out here because we didn't release it in America. We just released it out here.
It came out on Friday, I think.
Yeah.
So the thing that I thought was interesting, I heard it, and I wasn't sure whether it was going to be the message or something like that. And I heard it, and there's a lot of harmonies, and I went back through your back catalogue. You've always done harmonies. You've always had vocals.
Yeah, we always try to sing. Yeah,
it's just a slightly different take on it.
Because see, right now you might not need the message. We are the message.
Yeah.
And see, the main thing is to get the right record, and then let who we are be the vehicle for the record, but then be the, because see, what we're really trying to do is set a new standard for hip hop. Like there is no Bruce Springsteen of hip hop, or there is no Rolling Stones of hip hop.
Yeah.
And we want us in Sugar Hill Gang to be those people.
You're the godfather. So you're the pioneers.
Yeah, but I mean not only by reputation, but the money round. You see what I'm saying?
We gotta pay for what you.
We gotta do that and be that now, just so that all of these, all these younger rappers can understand their place.
Yeah.
Because they don't know their place.
There was a guy.
Yeah.
Dissed you, didn't he? He came out, and
Well,
I'm just thinking these guys need to look back.
Yeah.
At
You see what I'm saying?
Who is the guy that he wasn't born when you were rapping in the Bronx? Right. And for me, I'm talking to you now. I would take that as a real affront that someone who's actually following what you created actually says you're not relevant, and he wouldn't even exist in the game because there wouldn't be a game.
And the main thing is we're never not going to be relevant because you couldn't have done it without what we did.
No.
But see, the main thing is people that don't really understand the roots of hip hop, they got to know their place, and then. And know that their place is beneath us.
Yeah.
Because right now, that's not the case. Like a person can make one record, and he might come in this room, and his whole entourage won't even say nothing to us.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because they don't have the respect of what it is.
Look, in the UK, you've got the respect of the old school fans who know, but you need to let the people that know the new guys.
Right.
You are the actual people that created the fact that these guys.
And you can't do it with a hip hop record.
No.
Because they tried to redefine hip hop.
Yeah.
So right now we want to go in another lane, and then first of all redefine ourselves, recreate ourselves, and then get to the money round, and then make the statement that no matter what you do or no matter how much money you got, your place is under us, and then they'll respect what we did.
Yeah.
See, because they know what we did, but they don't necessarily respect it like that. Like the other day, Puffy and them gave a big concert in with the Bad Boy reunion, and maybe they could have invited us down to do the message. I mean, that was one of his biggest records. You see what I'm saying? But you don't even want to make the call because you
shouldn't have to make the call.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's really my point. So the point is that no matter what we want to get it to, no matter what anybody do in hip hop, if we make a call and say we in, and not only are we in, but we the top dog. Like how when they did the thing for the Superstorm Sandy, and when Mick Jagger and them said they was in, Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen shared time so Mick could close the show because that's what Mick wanted to do, and that's respect. And that's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna try to do it. We're gonna do it, and we're gonna do that in hip hop. You know what? What I would like to do, and just to go with this plan of solidifying a hierarchy in hip hop that's based on classic hip hop. You want to do, like a Stevie Wonder. The perfect day on a scale of 1 to 10. Is to do something with Mick Jagger. That would be the perfect, and rock out hard, like,
Or Springsteen.
Or Springsteen, yeah. You want to, but you want to do that. I wouldn't want to do nothing, like, I appreciate what Drake does. I appreciate what Common does. A couple of the cats, I appreciate what they do, Kendrick Lamar. But I wouldn't want to do nothing with them simply because it's just going to be more of the
same. What you want to do is try and attract a different audience, a bit like Run DMC and Aerosmith.
Yeah,
you want to try and get a different genre following what you're doing, and then it's a bigger...
And not only that, because basically it's all the same genre, because where our music elevated is in that classic oldies but goodie music section. So we're right there. You see what I'm saying? It's not like it's a stretch between the caliber artists, and not saying I'm anywhere in his stratosphere, but it's not a big stretch to see Mele Mel and Mick Jagger on a song together, or the Sugar Hill Gang and Mele Mel with the Rolling Stones. Is not really a big stretch if you look at the scope of what hip hop means to music and what the Rolling Stone means to music. That's not really a big stretch. So
if Mick's listening, he needs to give you a call.
Mick, come on, Daddy.
Give Mel a call. They're waiting.
Hey, let's go one more round. Let's go one more round. We got it in us, baby. Let's do it. We gotta show the world what real music is.
So, as a writer, you've always had a social conscience. So, we're talking about the message, White Lines, and Jesse as well about voting. Any thoughts on the current political state of the US? I mean, there's a lot going on. What are your personal thoughts on things in the US?
Me personally, I think in the US they should let, like how it's based on the Constitution and we the people, is not necessarily based on we the people. It's based on, we the rich businessman is going to buy up all the politicians, and on what the people want, no matter what the people want, they just going to get whatever we try to sell them. Because that's all, America is based on capitalism. But as you can see from the people electing a black man as president, obviously the people want something, and they all want that same thing. But the way the government is set up, even the way the banking system, with the Federal Reserve Bank and how it all works, is just based on capitalism, and all that's based on just, they just being that Americans are so much. There's so much of extraordinary consumers that is just it's just a place where you just sell them stuff. You just give them the commercials, get their mind to think a certain way, and they'll buy it. From medicine.
So maybe step back from the consumerism.
Yeah, it would be a great place. Yeah. I mean, they even had a commercial. They had a commercial, and this is no lie, that it was based on a drug. It was a drug commercial. And if you had cancer and you was dying in 3 weeks, that it could make you live for 4 weeks.
Jesus.
And the theme of the commercial was like, you could even live a little bit longer.
It's crazy.
and they took it off the market like they took the commercial off.
Yeah.
But the drug is still out there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But they took because it was like, I couldn't believe it. Like, but that's what America's all about. Is even like where you if you look at Michael Jackson, Prince, and Whitney Houston died off legal drugs, not street drugs, legal drugs, and they refuse to do anything about how they go about prescribing legal drugs to people in America, simply because it makes so much money.
Yeah.
And it's like they'll let the whole country go to hell in a handbasket simply because they're making money. I mean, heroin made a comeback simply because OxyContin and all those opiates was too expensive. So you got, white soccer moms, because I don't know nobody hooked on opiates, if they hooked on, either they hooked on dope or they just don't do it no more. You know what I mean? But you got soccer moms and businessmen, going in the ghetto to try to buy dope simply because they done wasted all their money and wasted their life on OxyContin, and the government don't do nothing about it simply because the drug lobbyists are so powerful, they can't. It's like if you bring it up, you might not get elected next time out. Yeah. So, it's America, and make no mistake, America's the greatest place on the planet, people-wise, but the politics, it makes it not so great. If you want to get into the politics of it, if you just want to just live your life, I mean, you can have a wonderful life. I mean, my life, I wouldn't trade it for the world, but I mean, if I could be president, I'd probably get killed because I try to change some issue, or get people to stop drinking milk or something like that, and they kill you. You know what I mean? It's like, we selling eggs, man. Don't play.
Any messages for your UK fans? So our station broadcasts to people in Surrey, but we are global, so we're online. Any messages for your UK fans?
Well, my main message is just to stay true to what they know that music is. I mean, the one thing that I loved about, even from the people to the charts, how BBC is, if you make the charts and you heard in London, then you're big all throughout the UK. It's not like, in America, you got all these different types of music. Yep. If you make popular music in the UK, it's popular with everybody. It's not, as segregated. The R&B charts, the country western charts and I'd love it to stay that way. We got, we did some of our greatest shows. We had some of our greatest runs. That's why we put the record out here. We wouldn't even think about putting the record out in the U.S. Our plan and strategy was to do it here because we'd get the most mileage out of it. They would respect what we was trying to do more than they would do in the U.S. In England is the closest place to America. I mean, England really, if you understand the roots of England, it's basically America. It's just in Europe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're a bit behind you in many ways.
Yeah, but
which is good. We've got Subway now. I love Subway.
Yeah, it's the same vibe, it's the same vibe. I love it.
Have you liked fish and chips?
Always. I've got fish and chips.
Oh, you got fish and chips there? Do you like curry? Have you tried the English curry?
Not big on curry.
No, not big on curry.
Yeah, I love
We're going to
fish
get
and
you
chips
changed to
and,
the chicken dansack if I get my way.
I like the bacon over here. I'm a big bacon
Crispy
fan.
bacon.
Yeah, but the way they do it is just more bacony.
Yeah. Yours is very...
America is in strips.
Yeah.
Here they have bacon.
Proper... I know what you're saying.
Moo. I wouldn't know whether to kiss it or kill it. That's how much I love bacon. It's the Grandmaster Mele Mel. You're listening to 103.7 Skyaaz on Kane FM, baby.
Thank you very much, Mele Mel.
Yuck.
Yeah. What a fantastic night. Thank you so much.